An animal that attacks venomous snakes, fights lions, raids beehives, and is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most fearless creature on Earth. Millions of people around the world know the honey badger. The internet has turned it into a little hero who seems completely oblivious to the very concept of danger. But scientists are asking a completely different question. Is the honey badger really afraid of nothing? Or are people simply misinterpreting the behavior of an animal that is desperately fighting for survival? In 2002, the Guinness Book of World Records awarded the honey badger the title of the most fearless animal on the planet. This definition was specifically about the nature of the animal's behavior and not at all about its ability to defeat any opponent. A scientific observation gradually turned into a bold label that people started using actively far beyond the scientific community. And in 2011, a viral video made the honey badger a true internet star. The new persona was incredibly simple. The honey badger is not afraid of snakes, is not afraid of lions, is not afraid of pain, and gives absolutely no thought to the consequences. A character like that fit perfectly into the short video format. Scientists very rarely use such definitive phrasing. Determining whether an animal experiences fear is quite difficult, even in species that are well understood. Out in the wild, it is even harder. So zoologists study specific behavioral reactions rather than emotions. An animal will run away, hide, freeze, display a threat, or launch an attack. All of this can be observed and analyzed. However, aggression and fearlessness mean completely different things. The most vicious attacks often happen precisely when an animal perceives a situation as deadly. A cornered animal fights infinitely harder than one that still has a way out. In this case, attacking is not a show of bravery, but the only way to survive. The behavior of the honey badger fits this logic perfectly. Many famous encounters involving a honey badger happen when it is defending its territory, foraging for food, or unexpectedly running into a predator. Its unique body structure really helps it out here. The skin of a honey badger is considered to be some of the thickest and toughest among mammals of its size. The thickness of this skin can reach 6 millimeters, but that is not even the most important part. The skin is incredibly loose on the body of the animal, creating a highly unusual defense mechanism. When a predator grabs a honey badger by the scruff of the neck, the animal can actually twist around inside its own skin and sink its teeth right into the attacker. This specific trait has been described in detail in numerous scientific papers and has been caught on video many times. The honey badger truly knows how to break free from a hold that would completely immobilize most other animals of a similar size and weight. The claws of a honey badger grow up to 4 centimeters long. They are used for digging burrows, tearing open termite mounds, and fending off attacks. Combined with powerful jaws, this makes the small beast an extremely dangerous opponent in close combat. However, physical traits only explain a piece of its reputation. The rest is built on tales of honey badgers battling venomous snakes. These stories actually have a basis in reality, but researchers tend to interpret them way too broadly. Honey badgers hunt a wide variety of snakes, including venomous ones. This has been documented countless times. In South Africa, they regularly eat African vipers and even young cobras, a fact confirmed by both zoological observations and stomach content analysis. However, the explanation for this phenomenon turns out to be way more complicated than people usually think. For decades, people believed that the honey badger was simply immune to snake venom. Some popular sources still claim this today, even though modern research paints a completely different picture. In 2008, a team of scientists led by Daniel Rathbun published a study that analyzed 128 cases of various predators getting bitten by venomous snakes. Honey badgers did indeed survive more often than the rest, but the overall picture turned out to be far from straightforward. They handled small doses of venom relatively well, but the effects of major bites were pretty severe. The animals would lose their ability to move, slip into a coma for several hours, and sometimes even die. Total immunity was completely out of the question. Biochemists later discovered a partial resistance to a number of venom components at the cellular level. Honey badger receptors genuinely are less sensitive to certain toxins, but that does not make the animal bulletproof. This kind of protection only goes so far. That is exactly why the honey badger does not just attack any snake that crosses its path. It sticks to a very specific game plan. It tries to grab the snake by the head while dodging any direct contact with the fangs. It takes down its prey quickly by delivering a sharp bite to the skull or neck. This hunting strategy significantly lowers the risk of taking a full dose of venom. Most recorded cases of poisoning happened either by accident or in situations where the honey badger had no control over things, like when fighting off a surprise attack. One other famous story involves bees. The honey badger really does raid hives and eat the honey along with the larvae. That is exactly how it earned the name honey badger. But even in this case, the reality is a lot more complicated than the popular myth. Thanks to its thick skin and dense fur, the honey badger is better protected from bee stings than most other animals. However, there is no such thing as complete invulnerability. If a swarm attacks in full force, the honey badger still suffers painful stings and is forced to back down. Zoologists have often observed honey badgers carefully approaching hives, sizing up the situation, and walking away if the colony proved to be overly aggressive. This is not the behavior of a creature that simply ignores danger. It is a calculated move and a choice to take the least risky path. Honey makes up only a fraction of the honey badger diet, and it is by no means the main staple. The bulk of their food consists of rodents, reptiles, insects, birds, and their eggs. The honey badger is an opportunistic predator that feeds on whatever happens to be available at the moment. During dry spells, it switches to insects and plant matter. In times of plenty, it actively hunts vertebrates. This kind of flexibility allows the honey badger to survive in a wide variety of environments, ranging from savannas to semi-arid regions. Fearlessness and aggression might look similar on the surface, but from a biological standpoint, they are completely different strategies. An animal that truly knows no fear would constantly put itself at unnecessary risk and would die off very quickly. The honey badger survives not because it ignores danger, but because it knows exactly how to handle it. It attacks when its back is against the wall. It backs off when it makes sense to do so. It sizes up the threat and picks the right strategy based on the specific situation. Documented encounters with large predators almost always happen in a very specific context. The honey badger is defending a kill it refuses to give up. It ends up cornered with absolutely no way out. It is protecting a den full of its babies. In situations like these, aggression becomes a perfectly rational choice. The size of the opponent matters, but it is not the deciding factor. Even a massive predator risks getting hurt by a honey badger, and that lowers its chances of a successful hunt down the road. This is basically risk management. A lion is more than capable of killing a honey badger, but the real question is whether it is worth wasting the time and energy while risking a nasty bite or a deep scratch. More often than not, the answer is no, especially if there is an easier meal nearby. The anal glands of a honey badger produce an incredibly foul odor that serves as a defense mechanism. This is just one more factor that makes hunting a honey badger way less appealing to predators, who are always calculating the energy it takes to catch their next meal. However, this definitely does not mean that the honey badger comes out on top in every single fight. There are recorded cases of honey badgers being killed by lions, leopards, and other large predators. It is just that these incidents attract way less attention than the stories of them successfully fighting back. People also often misunderstand the territorial behavior of the honey badger. It definitely defends its turf, but it does so selectively. If a threat seems way too dangerous, the honey badger is more than willing to give up its area and move somewhere else. You can really see this in areas packed with large predators. Honey badgers avoid direct competition, shift their activity to the nighttime, and take over spots that are just less appealing to other animals. Their solitary lifestyle also plays a major role. Honey badgers do not form packs. They do not hunt together, and they do not guard their turf as a group. Every single animal relies entirely on its own strength, and that requires a whole lot of caution. Females with babies end up in a particularly vulnerable spot. During this time, they become way more careful, try to avoid fights, and do their best to keep a low profile around predators. Taking care of their young is important, but not at the cost of their own survival. Honey badger cubs are born blind and completely helpless. During the first few months of life, they depend entirely on their mother and never leave the den. It is only around 3 months of age that they start venturing outside, and even then, it is under the watchful eye of the female. Their training stretches out for well over 1 year. Young honey badgers gradually get the hang of hunting, learn to spot threats, and figure out the right way to handle dangerous situations. This lengthy process clearly shows that a honey badger surviving is not about being born fearless, but rather about the skills they pick up along the way. The intelligence of honey badgers became a massive talking point following the story of Stoffel, a honey badger living at the Moholoholo Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in South Africa. Stoffel became famous for his countless escapes from his enclosure, during which he used rocks, piles of mud, and even rakes to break out. He figured out how to open latches, dug under fences, and even teamed up with other animals. These escapes were caught on camera and quickly spread like wildfire across the internet, sparking countless stories about the exceptional brain power of honey badgers as an entire species. However, you cannot just take observations of one extraordinary animal and apply them to the entire species. There are absolutely zero scientific studies out there that actually prove honey badgers have exceptional mental abilities. All we really have to go on are stories from the staff, video footage, and accounts from eyewitnesses. But the true value of Moholoholo lies elsewhere. For years, animals injured by traps set by poachers and encounters with humans have been brought here. The staff at the rehabilitation center treats their injuries, helps the animals regain their strength, and releases them back into the wild. This work almost never goes viral, even though it is exactly what determines the fate of individual animals. Here, the social media image of the honey badger gives way to the real honey badger, a regular wild creature with all its natural quirks and limitations. Beneath the thick skin lies not a superpower, but the result of evolutionary selection. Behind the stubborn resistance lies a defensive instinct. Behind the reputation of the most fearless animal on the planet lies a complex behavioral arsenal, which people have reduced to a simple caricature. The honey badger does not try to impress anyone with its bravery. It has no concept of the Guinness Book of World Records. It has not watched any viral videos. And it does not care about living up to the expectations of others. It simply does whatever helps it survive. Sometimes it backs down. Sometimes it takes a risk. Sometimes it strikes first. The ability to switch between different behavioral strategies has made it one of the most remarkable predators among animals of its size. But it never turned it into the invincible berserker from internet legends.